Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on my channel we are all about real makeup for real life and real people like us. If you are new here, a very special welcome to you. I hope you will consider subscribing today if you like what you see, and then you'll be able to find the rest of my videos more easily on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday when I upload. So today, as you would have seen by the title, we are ranking all of my liquid and cream blushes. These are just my single products. There are a couple of duos in there, but the duos are both cream products. And I do have 24 cream blush products or liquid blush products, so we better get started right away. Coming in at number 24, it comes from Nude Sticks. It's their Nudies All Over Face color in the shade Sunkissed. Nothing at all wrong with this product in terms of formula. Just in terms of the shade, it's a little harder to work with on my skin tone. It's quite deep and it just falls where it does. As somebody had to come in last, I have to say that so far, this was my hardest ranking to date. It was very, very hard. Coming in at number 23, and I hate to put this product here, I hate to put any of them at the bottom, but this product just, I don't know. It's something that I never reach for after the initial excitement wore off, and I don't know if it's the color or more of the formula. The formula is very sheer. It is the Fenty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush. I have the shade Strawberry Drip. It is a beautiful shade, have no fear. I do really like it, but it is kind of a sheer formula, and therefore it can be a little harder to work with, especially over other products. To build this up, it's a little tricky because if you have products underneath, you know, you can't go moving that around too much. So for me, I don't know, this product's just a little finicky. I love the cream bronzer. I'm working on panning it. I'm wearing it today. But for some reason, this cream cheek doesn't rank real high for me. But I'm sure I will pull this in for summer in Shop My Stash or maybe Partners in Cream. But meanwhile, it comes in at number 23. Number 22 is Shirley, haha. Is purely a matter of color preference. It is my Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Nectar. It is a really beautiful color. I just love the shade Pinched so much that this one does not get a lot of love. I love the formula. I do think this is going to be beautiful for spring and summer, but it's just not the one that I reach for the most based on the fact that I love my other shade so much. So coming in at number 21, another matter of color preference. I have another shade in this blush that I absolutely adore, and you will see it comes ranked much higher. But this shade in the MAC Glow Play blush is the shade Cheer Up. Very pretty, and you know, to be fair, I haven't owned this through a spring season yet. I do think it will be absolutely stunning for spring, but meanwhile, I haven't gotten a lot of use out of it. I do have to build it up quite a bit on my skin tone. There's something that's quite sheer about the Glow Play blush formula, and I know a lot of people can appreciate that because they don't love blush as much as I do, or a real blushy look. I'm pretty toned down today, all things considered, but I love this formula from MAC. This shade, just not a favorite. Coming in at number 20 is a product that I actually really like, and it's not about the color, a little bit about the formula, and just also partially because I haven't had it that long. I've only worn it a handful of times, but it is the Maybelline Cheek Heat Liquid Blush Sheer Gel Cream Blush. And I think that's part of it. I think the gel formula throws me off a little bit. It definitely can mess with some products that might be underneath. There's the shade. This is in the shade, I forgot to say it, Nude Burn. It is a beautiful color, and I do really like it for that. This is just a product that I wouldn't wear when I'm wearing a full face of makeup. This would be like some no foundation, light makeup kind of day. Put this on and then powder over the top because I'm a combo oily girl. But because of that gel quality, I think the moisture of it sometimes can mess with products underneath. I think that's why it didn't get necessarily rave reviews here on YouTube, but I do really like it. It's just sort of a certain situation type of blush. The next blush coming in at number 19 is also more of a case of I haven't used it enough. I haven't found a place for it in my routine. Haven't had it for very long type of situation. I actually purchased this from a subscriber. She knew that I was wanting to add this blush to my collection. It wasn't working for her, very gently used, so I purchased it from her. Thank you, you know who you are. And it is the Patrick Ta Double Take Creme and Powder Blush Duo. And this has both cream and powder in it. It is beautiful. For me, I haven't had it long enough. It's not really something I would typically wear in the winter in terms of shade. And so, you know, it ranks where it is because it just isn't a favorite yet. It hasn't earned its place in the higher ranked products, but it is beautiful. I do love this formula. I do have another one of these that you'll see ranked a little bit higher because I've had it longer, but this one, while beautiful, I think it's more of a fall color story for me, and I am really excited to make use of it then. Number 18, this is a hard one. Number 18 was a gift, and it ranks where it does, partially because I haven't used it enough, partially because I haven't owned it long enough, but also partially because of the formula. This formula is a little tricky, and it's a formula that I tend to have a little bit of a struggle with no matter what brand puts out this kind of formula. It's a cream to powder formula, and for me, it's just a little hard to work with. This is the Rare Beauty Stay Vulnerable Melting Blush. I have the shade Nearly Apricot. This was a beautiful gift from my beautiful friend Angela for my birthday. And it is definitely a beautiful color. But like I said, something about that cream to powder formula does tend to be a little trickier to work with. I don't find that it works overly well with a wet sponge. Something about the moisture combined with this like cream to powder formula doesn't work very well. I have tried it with a brush, but again, it's a little finicky. I've tried it with my fingers, but probably not enough. So meanwhile, it lands where it does. If you would ask me to do this again next year, which I probably will, I enjoy ranking my collection, I might feel differently about it then. But for right now, this is where things lie, if that makes sense. It's ever changing. And then the next one coming in at number 17 is another shade in the Patrick Ta Double Take Creme and Powder Blush. This is the shade Do We Know Her? This is the shade I purchased myself, and I do love these colors. And I do love duos because I love the idea that you can, you know, wear it multiple ways. You can, all right, it's right over here. You can combine them or wear them separately. So it's kind of like 3 blush in one. I've always been a kind of a sucker for that. So I do, again, I love this formula. I love these shades. I've had a little bit more opportunity to use this one than the other one from Patrick Ta, and it's definitely not going anywhere. I have this in my Shop My Stash for the month, and I've yet to wear it, to be, you know, totally honest. but it is a beautiful formula, beautiful product, 10 out of 10 on packaging and all that. Coming in at number 16 was a product that was passed along to me from a friend, and I am working on this product in my Partners in Cream project pan. This is the Basic Beauty Jelly Blush, and the shade is called It's October 3rd. I have no idea what that's about. That's weird. But I do have pan in it, and I'm working on finishing this up. This is so similar to one of my favorite cream products in my collection. I'll leave that for later, but I want to swatch them side by side because I would guess that they are super similar in shade. But this is beautiful. I really like this texture. It's very similar to like a ColourPop Super Shock blush, but yeah, I really like it. And this one is a beautiful one to be applied anyway. I've applied it with a sponge. I've applied it with a brush. Probably my favorite way to apply it is with my fingers, but beautiful. Next, coming in at number 15 was a product that came in a birthday gift from Sephora in 2020. My birthday was in January of 2020, so I've had this one for a while. And I'm really glad that it's been added to my collection, even though it's not a product I went out and purchased for myself. It is the Milk Makeup Lip Plus Cheek Stick, and this comes in the shade Work. At first, I thought nothing very exciting about the shade, but there is something super exciting about this shade, and that is I feel like it goes with darn near anything. It's just pinky enough. It's just peachy warm enough. It's just a beautiful, beautiful shade to wear with just about any look. And I love the formula. It's not sticky. If you're familiar with their highlighter or bronzer formula, it's very similar. But the main thing I love about this one is the color. I think it is so beautiful, very fresh, good for any time of year, good for any look, and I don't feel like you can say that about a lot of blush. So that one is a diamond in the rough. Coming in at number 14, let's talk about one of my favorite cream blush formulas, and that is the Super Shock Cheeks from ColourPop. I do have 3 different ones, and I decided today to rank the shades separately because I'm really not just reviewing or ranking the formula here. It's about the entire product. This one is a beautiful like red coral shade. It is the perfect shade for my daughter for dance when she does stage performances. It's nice and bright. It's not too red to where it looks like you're wearing red lipstick on your cheeks. And so it's just coral enough. It looks beautiful on my warm skin tone, if I do say so myself, and I do. I just really like this one. This was limited edition packaging. I'm not for sure from what collection, but they do still have it as a part of their permanent line. So there you go. And then right on its coattails in number 13 is the shade Too Cool for School. This was a shade I wanted for a long time, and I'm glad I finally pulled the trigger on. It's like a burnt orange, but it does have like a beautiful golden sheen to it, not a speck of glitter to be found. And this is so unique to my collection. I absolutely adore this. This is going to be a staple for summer and fall. I'm sure of it because I just love this formula so much. It is so easy to work with, so blendable, buildable, never emphasizes texture on my skin, which, let's be honest, has been kind of a theme lately for me. So I really love this one. I'm so glad that I picked up that shade. It really adds value to my collection, which at this point, with so many blush in my collection, it's important that it add value. Otherwise, why am I buying more? Coming in at number 12, we're on a ColourPop roll. It is the ColourPop Blush Sticks in the shade Aloha. And I love this color. It's very much terracotta, I feel like, but leaning a little bit more orange. Here is Aloha, and here is Too Cool for School. This is a really nice cream blush formula. I really enjoy it. It's long lasting on my skin. And this color in particular is, again, a really nice color, which is fairly neutral for the looks that you could pair it with. Obviously, I think it looks best with warm tone looks, but I do love this formula. I don't think I need to buy any more. I don't think any of the other shades are like outstanding or missing from my collection, but I do love that one. Coming in at number 11, one of my favorite formulas. I love it so much. This is a formula I'd like to own all the shades eventually, but for now, coming in at number 11 is the Apu Juicy Pang Water Blusher, and this is the shade Grapefruit, another stunning coral blush shade in my collection. Let me know though if you guys would be interested. I would be happy to do like a flat setup, like looking at my hands, swatching and comparing my cream blushes type of video if you would be interested in that, looking for similarities, things like that. So this is the shade. I do love these because these are exactly how they sound. When they say water blusher, it really is more like a watercolor tint to your cheeks. And I really like this one. It's so beautiful for spring and summer, and it doesn't stay tacky, but it is a little bit dewy on the cheeks. It does give a little bit of that healthy sheen or glow to your skin, which I am not at all mad about. I think the next one that I would like to buy in this line is like a lavender one. It just looks so pretty, and I've got a lavender powder blush in my collection, and I really enjoy that and what it does for the cheeks. So that'd probably be the next one I would pick. Number 10 is another one of those duos that I was talking about, and they are the Kosas Color and Light Creme Cheek Duos. They also have these same duos and shades in powder if that's your preference. But coming in at number 10 is this one, which is called Velvet Melon. This is the newer of the two that I own, and I really love the texture of these. You almost have to warm the surface of the product with your fingers. It's like a waxy texture almost, but not in a bad way, in a totally awesome way that makes things apply just beautifully. I love the highlighter shade. I know we're just talking about blush today, but it is definitely a favorite in terms of highlight shades in my collection. This particular shade of peach, I think, is definitely unique to my collection. It's not got any pink to it. It is more of a yellow-based peach, and it's very much like a cantaloupe shade, like what a cantaloupe looks like. So I really do enjoy the formula, and I also enjoy and feel like these are unique shades to my collection. And then right above that one, because we're working our way up, in case you didn't catch that, is the shade 8th Muse. This was 100% a Jessica Braun Made Me Buy It product. She loves this. I think she is darn near close to having pan on hers, and I really enjoy this duo for a couple of reasons. For one, I feel like the pink that's in here, again, is a very unique pink to my collection. It's definitely got more blue to it than some of the other pinks in my collection, so it works well with cooler tone looks. But the thing I love about it is that the highlight in here is not cool tone. It's a little bit more warm tone. It's got a touch of peach to it, in my opinion. And so when you have that little bit of a cooler tone of pink with that warmer tone highlighter either on top or underneath, either works. It's just something special to behold, and I really need to get more use out of these Kosas duos. They seem to sort of fall by the wayside in my collection, but clearly they are gorgeous. Coming in at number 8 is my Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Puff. This is the only shade that I have, but darn it all, Emily Noel. She got, always too much comes out, always. Be very careful. Emily Noel, she tried the berry shade of the cloud paint, and it's one that I always thought was pretty, but I never really considered purchasing because it seemed so dark. But she was able to easily apply it, and it looks stunning. And berry is something I don't have a lot of in my blush collection, so it's definitely on my wish list. But this is Puff. This is a beautiful, a lot like the Maybelline Cheek Heat when I was talking about how it's a lighter formula, and I really appreciate this formula more when I'm applying it over very little makeup. Just a little bit of this to pink up your cheeks, maybe some mascara, a lip, out the door, and I love it for that. And I also really enjoy mixing this one with my two Flower Beauty blush bombs. So if you haven't tried mixing your liquid blushes, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and it just makes your collection of liquid blush that much more versatile. Coming in at number 7, I still love this thing, and I used the absolute snot out of it last year, and it is the Physicians Formula Natural Defense Multi-Color Stick. This does have sunscreen in it, which I think is interesting. It does have a nice scent to it as well, but again, this is a color thing for me. I really love this color. It is just so pretty. I'm trying to resist the urge to put any of these on my cheek in this video because I don't need to, but I love that one. It's a really beautiful shade. I love the texture too. It's like very tenacious, and when you're tapping it out, you can feel that it's going to stay where it is, which is definitely a plus. Coming in at number 6, if you recall, I had a Nude Sticks blush as my very last place in this ranking, but Nude Sticks is redeemed because coming in at number 6 is again a Nude Sticks Nudies All Over Face Color Stick. And this is in the shade Beach Babe. And I used so much of this last summer when we were moving. This was like my token, like once over cheek product. I would use a little bit of it up on my temples, across my cheeks, across my nose, and that would be it. Other than some mascara, maybe some eyeshadow, what have you, but it's just such a pretty shade. When I talk about a sunburny shade, like a shade that looks like you got a little, just an inch too much sun, that's what I'm talking about, and it looks beautiful on my skin. Very natural, very real. I love a monochromatic look with this with very minimal other makeup, so I do love this formula, but the Sunkissed shade, just not my favorite. And I don't know if that's because it's a sample or not, because it does feel a little drier than Beach Babe, and Sunkissed is the same formula, allegedly. So coming in at number 5, a little bit newer to my collection, immediate favorite, and that is the Honest Beauty Creme Cheek Blush. I have the shade Rose Pink. Not necessarily the most unique shade in my collection, but I do really love the formula, and I do love this shade as well. It's a great sort of everyday shade, a great everyday pink. It's a bit waxier like the Causemetics than some of the other cream type products I have in my collection, and therefore I do actually really recommend applying this with your fingers, with the heat of your fingers. Coming in at number 4 is the other shade of the Juicy Pang Water Blusher from Opu, and this is my favorite shade because it's a beautiful milky sort of neutral pink. It's also really fun that these are kind of like a nail polish bottle, just saying. They also smell really good, kind of fruity. I love this sort of milky pink nudie shade, but it also has like gold sheen in it, as you can see in the bottle here, and I don't know, it just makes it really special. It looks really stunning on the cheeks, so that's why that one comes in at number 4. Top 3, baby. Coming in at number 3, these 3 were the hardest, I think. But coming in at number 3 is my other MAC Glow Play blush. This is in the shade So Natural. I am working on this shade in my 21 pans in 2021. So I am hoping to hit pan on this blush this year. And I don't think that will be a problem because it is such a nice neutral blush. You could absolutely wear this every day. Has a nice glow to it without being glowy, shimmery, anything like that. And for me, this is a really natural shade. It looks good on my skin tone. So that's why it falls where it does and why I'm working on panning it this year. As I mentioned when I ranked the previous Flower Beauty blush balm in the shade Nectar, I mentioned that that one falls where it does, and a lot of blushes fall where they are because I love this little baby right here. Don't let the packaging fool you. It is getting low in here. This is the shade Pinched, and it is my perfect neutral blush. It's a beautiful blush base for a more sheer blush that you might want to add a little bit more pigment to. It is dewy, it is natural, it is beautiful. I love everything about this blush. I could easily go weeks, if not months, of only wearing this blush. One of my favorite blush combinations with this as a base is to layer NARS Luster over top. It's sort of a peachy, sheeny, sheer blush, kind of like Orgasm, but like a peach version. And layered over this, favorite cheek combination of life. And coming in at number 1, if you're keeping track, you might know who's missing. We haven't talked about my third and final ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Between the Sheets. I love this. I need to like press mine back down in there. I mean, I've hit major pan and that's fine, and woohoo, I love having pan in my collection, but I also want the product to stay nice and hydrated and all of that. This is the one that I said I feel like is a dupe, or these are a dupe for each other. So we're going to swatch them right now. Starting off with ColourPop Between the Sheets. This is my perfect blush of life. Make sure we're all dry here. Perfect blush, perfect pink blush, perfect formula for cream blush. I adore this blush. If I had one blush to recommend to you, I don't know about it in my entire collection, but certainly my cream and liquid collection, it would be ColourPop Between the Sheets. So here is, again, the Basic Beauty Jelly Blush in the shade It's October 3rd. And I would say they're not similar, but I do think this is the Basic Beauty and this is Between the Sheets. Between the Sheets definitely has a little bit more nude or warmth to it, where I feel like It's October 3rd is definitely more just pink, no brown, no peach, just pink. So beautiful, similar, but not. And that is it. That is all I have for you today. It's, I'm sure, a long one, as these videos tend to be, but I don't like to just tell you what I'm ranking where and not tell you why. I also like to swatch, especially when it comes to colorful face products. So I hope you enjoyed today's ranking video. We'll be ranking powder blush next, of course. So stay tuned for that. If you missed it, I do have a playlist down in my description box below featuring all of my ranking my collection videos. So it's a great place to catch up if you've missed any of these. We've already done a primer, foundation, concealer, powder and bronzer, and cream and liquid blush. So I hope you're doing well. I appreciate your time and you clicking on this video today. And I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful blush days. And I will see you in my next video real soon.